So we've talked about a lot of things,
Yeah.
but the one thing we actually haven't talked about is, what a good, strong legal webinar looks like. So let's
Yeah.
let's dive into that a bit. What are we looking at here?
So a strong legal webinar program has a current and reliable PD element to it. So if laws are being augmented or changed, things are coming up. They are constantly delivering content that's new and on point with the current case law. Castle's always been a great drawer for webinars. Just because you did one 4 years ago and it got a lot of views doesn't mean it's even current anymore, or 3 years ago, or even a year ago. Laws change, the world changes, and so you want to be current with that program, and people need to be able to depend on you that when something is going to change, they can come to you for it, or else they will go somewhere else. And from a thought leadership perspective, or what we would consider traditional webinars that may be out there trying to bring in new customers to the firm or whatever it is that they're purposeful. So, we've been saying this, we've seen it, and the firms that are doing well are doing it, is if you're looking to attract cross-border business, people moving into Canada, you might have to fly down and see them, or they might fly up to see you. That's a big investment and a lot going on. Hosting webinars lets you get into that business, let them see and hear from your thought leaders, your partners, the guys that are going to be working with them. It might be a situation where you're really strong in one or two practice groups and you have emerging sectors in other ones. Or you're strong in Alberta and energy, not so strong in Toronto, that you do a webinar on energy from this practice group leader and target your Toronto audience, who's not going to go out there to meet that guy in person like you want him to, and he only comes to Toronto when he has to because he loves living in Alberta or whatever the story is. And so these purposeful programs that fill gaps and just help you cross-pollinate within your client base or attract new customers that you couldn't reach by shaking hands and being in the room, those programs are always the ones that get the highest return on investment. And then the last thing that I would say is if you go to a firm, there's a lot of firms out there that hide almost their entire program. It's behind closed doors and it's exclusive content for their customers. And while I fully understand the aspect of exclusive content, there should also be content that is not. No one out there is going to know how awesome you are or your perspective if you hide it from the world. And there are programs out there that are completely hidden right now. I still don't understand it, and it can't be explained to me in a way that makes sense. And so the strong programs, the ones that are getting the most out of it, both for their customers and for the business, and definitely the ones who I know are getting the highest ROI because they're the ones that are continuing to book more, have a massive public face for their webinar programs.